Good evening, you're watching Episodes, I'm Less Yakimchuk, and today we'll bring you the following. Swedish investments for Ukrainian ideas. Football and blue umbrellas, Kyiv joins World Autism Awareness Day.
I would say that on the field we get a little bit better than in parliament.
Vučić came to Ukraine. The biggest paper leak since Snowden, Ukraine and other breaking news in our weekly biggest digest from Maria Ulyanovska.
Leaders, criminals and celebrities. A giant leak of more than 11.5 million financial and legal records exposed a system that enables crime, corruption and wrongdoing hidden by the secretive offshore companies. Among other high-profile names in Panama Papers leak appears a Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko with his confectionery empire. Being accused of establishing offshore for international corruption purposes, Poroshenko insists these assets are clean and he had done nothing wrong. Having become a president, I am not participating in management of my assets, having delegating this responsibility to consulting and law firms, he posted in official Twitter page. Ukraine prosecution officials said there was no evidence of a crime. Poroshenko's legal advisor, Kyiv-based Avalon, called the tax evasion allegations groundless and said Russia met all its Ukrainian tax obligations. Another vital occurrence for Ukraine. This week, the Dutch voted for European Union Association Agreement with Ukraine on a non-binding referendum. After voters rejected a partnership deal with 64% voted no, Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko called it aimed at the EU, with those behind the referendum not taking a shot at the Ukraine Treaty, but the unity of Europe.
Under any circumstances, we continue to implement the association agreement with the European Union, including deep and comprehensive free trade agreement, and Ukraine will continue our movement to the European Union.
Many Ukrainians feel their country deserves a treaty and are keen to show they have made progress in aligning their country with European standards since the 2014 uprising that toppled pro-Russian President Viktor Yanukovych. Ukrainians experienced a major problem withdrawing money from private bank accounts this week. On the 4th and 5th of April, as a result of processing software update, ATMs declined all users' operations. As Privatbank IT Director reported, the problem occurred due to launch of new security system. Within 2 days, Privatbank stabilized its ATM network. The 2015 Nobel Prize winner, Belarusian investigative journalist and non-fiction prose writer Svetlana Alexievich paid a visit to Kyiv. On Thursday, she presented her Voices from Chernobyl, the oral history of nuclear disaster. The book was translated into Ukrainian by Oksana Zabushko, who accompanied Alexievich on the lecture. Visitors had a unique opportunity to observe brilliant dialogue between the two writers, ask questions, buy the book, and take autographs. This was the weekly digest for Episodes by Maria Ulyanovska.
On the 2nd of April, the world celebrated Autism Awareness Day. Ukraine took part in the festivities, and events dedicated to the condition were held during the first weekend of April. More from our journalist.
Despite the strong wind and early out, St. Sophia Square was crowded this Saturday morning. Families with an autistic child have grouped together as a reminder about themselves.
Our news advised us to get checked because he hadn't talked and had behaved strangely. We're here to say that we exist, that we are not fearful.
The event's organizer is the charity fund Social Protection. Its main aim is to draw public attention and especially an attention of politicians to the problem, which usually remains ignored.
We gathered at the Sophia Square to hold a social action, Kyiv in blue. Why blue? Because according to statistics, boys have autism 4 times more often than girls do.
The main event featured a flash mob of 50 children dancing with the flag of Ukraine and blue umbrellas in a sign of support for children with autism. And on Saturday, April 3rd, teams of Ukrainian parliamentary deputies and journalists met in the Parliamentary Cup charity match at Barnikov Stadium. Their main aim was to raise funds for the furnishment of rooms in one of Kyiv's treatment centers.
I would say that on the field we get a little bit better than in parliament, because we are more sincere here.
The deputies and journalists managed to raise the needed amount, and the treatment center will now be able to accept 30 more children. But organizers indicated that their main victory consists in the deputies promising to follow up on issues relating to families with autistic children and treatment centers. Mila, Pономаренко, Anastasiya, Prokopенko, Episodes.
People with autism, also called Rain Man, today can not only socialize but also express themselves through art. More on this from Diana Butsko and Natalia Rob.
Yevgeny Kitishkin has been acting in the Paratsky Theatre for 15 years, since its creation. Rehearsal performances and other types of work give him not only the chance to live life to the fullest, but also to realize his creative potential. Yevgen has autism.
Мы развиваем координацию рук. Она с нами много работ делает, в кино смотрим, на разные темы пишем.
The Paratsky Theatre was created by director Vitaly Lyubota in 2001. It is the first Ukrainian theatre where people with mental and genetic conditions of development act. There are 5 actors with autism in the Paratsky Theatre. Discussing Yevgen, Lyubota explains how art helps them.
Безконфліктність в колективі, де він вміє зглажувати абсолютно різні якісь там проблемні моменти, якщо виникають, він або їх красиво може згладити, або попросту красиво піти без таких втрат для себе психоемоційних. Абсолютно комунікативний в житті, він в побуті, він може в транспорті, на вулиці, в магазинах.
The director explains that people with autism have their own world, their own rooms, but we can show them that movement between their and our rooms is possible. The head of the We Are Together Mothers of Special Children community, Olga Ladna, knows exactly what autism is. Her 8-year-old son Timothy is a special child. Ladna believes that the Paratsky Theatre provides a special kind of art therapy.
Така взаємодія, яка дає і соціалізацію, і форму таку самореалізації. Небагато таких місць, де дитина з аутизмом, людина з аутизмом може себе почувати людиною, яка може щось робити таке, що їй хочеться і від чого їй хочеться жити і творити.
It's impossible to change people with autism, but it's possible to socialize them. Tangible proof is the Paratsky Theatre. Diana Butsko, Natalia Rob, Episodes.
Swedish companies are coming to Ukraine to find talented people and invest money in startups. They gathered together at the Ukraine-Sweden IT Connection Forum. More on this from Maria Kappinos and Maria Juzic.
More than 20 speakers from Ukraine and Sweden, the most talented Ukrainian startups and more than 100 visitors. On April 6, they all come to Sweden-Ukraine IT Connection Forum. The main cause of the event is to introduce Ukrainian projects to investors from Sweden. Gunnar works in the embassy and cooperates with Swedish and Ukrainian companies. He thinks Ukraine has a lot of potential.
Today we are here in Ukraine with a group of Swedish companies that are looking for business opportunities within the IT sector. Ukraine is a very rich country. There are a lot of natural resources.
One of the successful examples of such a cooperation is Ukrainian smart collar for cats Mogi. The inventors of the startup won the grant on March 2016.
For example, we have a cat. We simply found it on the street and we took it with us to Sweden. And we figure out we have a problem because we travel a lot and there were no one to leave the cat with.
Mavik's team is at the beginning of their way to success. They are from Odessa and they created a gadget to control the position of spine.
This device is very easy to use. You fix it on your back and sit straight. You can also fix it on your clothes, on the belt or, as I said, on the back. For girls, this kind of fastening is possible on the bra.
They are planning to improve their product and soon will present it on crowdfunding platform to involve investment and continue the work.
To make a device, we need a board. We are doing these boards on our own because we simply can't remake it during the work. There are always some kind of problems and obviously we can't be sure about anything. There is no reason to order a final variant of platform.
Maria Juzic, Maria Kappinos, Episodes.
The Living Library in Kyiv, within the 13th International Docu Days UA Film Festival, different people share their personal dramas. Some of them are presented in our stories made by our journalists.
Живая библиотека – это что-то похожее на библиотеку, только книги здесь живые люди. В общении индивидуальном, один на один, мы говорили о том, что мы называем стереотипами.
Это извращение, ты не будешь иметь детей, а я хочу внуков, и вот. Пытались лечить, меня пытались к психологу меня выводили к священнику. Обидно, конечно, что так кто-то может сидеть на лавочке и обниматься, чуть ли не пожирать, поедать друг друга, там, а я даже за руку не могу спокойно взять.
Здесь до сих пор не сложилось никакой такой диаспоры, которая была бы готова как-то социализировать людей, и каждому приезжающему в одиночку достаточно тяжело. Я очень уважаю тех людей, которые остались, находят в себе силы что-то делать, но мне кажется, что во многом это бесполезно.
Всі люди різні, так, в будь-якій нації. А роми як ніхто різні. Чому? Тому що у нас кастова система, ми ж індійського походження, у нас кастова система, то ми як ніхто розшаровані. Це в основному залежить від того, що від незнання. Чому? Люди абсолютно не мали ніякого стосунку з ромами. Я спершу не афішував. А от тоді, коли вже у людей складалося про мене враження, тоді так руба бац.
Вы думаете, что вот лесбиянки, они такие плохие, а вот видите, посмотрите на меня. Мы с вами, допустим, общаемся уже некоторое время, я ж нормальная, я ж никого не насилую, не ем детей.
Вместе со своими друзьями мы делаем проект по помощи в легализации, социализации, адаптации тех, кто переезжает в Украину из России.
Я наштовхую людину на пошук.
Нужно бороться за себя, за свою свободу. Я другая, и все.
Public auction without corruption, an electronic system which simplified the process of renting ads and retail space was presented in Kyiv. It is meant to completely reject government influence on agreements made. What change should we expect and when? More on this from our correspondents.
A law about public purchase came into action on the 1st of April. Heretofore, customs will be able to participate in the public auction through the system of online purchase, which is called e-auctions 3.0. Due to this, all government auctions of trade and commercial space can be conducted electronically. Developers say that the implementation of this system does not need legal system adaptation, it needs only political will.
Blockchain, the system on which this is based, is an innovative solution to avoid monopolized databases. I'm very happy and proud that the first project in the world based on blockchain in the governmental sector will be exactly in Ukraine. Now it depends on the state authorities. If they want a system where corruption is not possible, they will be able to implement it.
Kyiv is one of the first cities where the system will be implemented. The city authorities has already signed a memorandum about development and implementation of decentralized online auction system.
Kyiv already has its own smart city system, an open budget system, the fully open financial accounts. So we have to make the next step, come to the next level to ensure clearness and the real estate sales and lease on the most competitive circumstances.
Developers promise that this system will be more effective and income will increase by 15-20%. A platform will start to work in a few months. Galia Rudik, Anton, Gerasimov, Episodes.
Blood brothers, thousands of Ukrainians die every year due to the lack of blood supply in the country. Episodes discovered how it feels to live in constant need of blood transfusion and what it takes to prolong someone's life.
Irina maintains a full and active life despite her medical condition. She is diagnosed with chronic renal failure and is appointed to prolonged hemodialysis. She is also one of the numerous patients in Ukraine with a permanent need of blood transfusion.
То есть это такая жизнь, и нельзя сказать, что ты инвалид, и ты уже все, не живешь.
Well, this way of life, I cannot say I'm disabled and it's the end, I don't fully live on the home and work.
You can't say that. I work as much as I am able to. I have hobbies, I do crafting. Bag sewing, for instance, this is my masterpiece. I sew clothes, embroider, knit. I'm a normal, fulfilled human being, but the quality of my life fully depends on blood.
Almost twice a year, Irina has to receive 400 milliliter blood transfusion. Even though it may not seem that much, it's a real problem to find a donor, she says. According to the estimates of the Ministry of Health, clinical blood products needs are satisfied by only 25%. At the same time, doctors assure that timely recovered loss of blood can save more than 100 women who die each year in Ukraine after complications during pregnancy. Chairman of the Commission of the Medical Reform of Public Council in the Ministry of Health, Ткаченко, said that the root of the problem is inability of planning ahead and lack of public awareness.
With the development of science and technology, there is a constant need of new equipment for blood collection centers. There is need in investments to update the whole system of blood collection and storage. This is a major problem because everything was inherited from the Soviet Union, therefore it doesn't meet the needs of today. Verification of such programs requires adoption of a specific article in the budget. Situation in 2014 and general financial situation in the country weren't most favorable for making those changes in the budget, and most likely it was considered as not timely for extra disbursals.
Having acknowledged the problem of blood shortage in Ukraine, students in Kiev Mahila Academy united on World Health Day to donate blood. The conducted event was aimed to gather conscious people who can become the blood donors and react quickly in the case of need. Within a couple of hours of campaign, dozens of students were able to provide enough blood to save more than 300 patients. Blood would be used to treat children and pregnant women who require transfusions, as well as the patients in National Cancer Institute.
It was performed during our studies at School of Public Health here at Kiev Mahila Academy, and we organized it with students just as an experiment, to see if the students would be willing to participate. We knew that the problem of blood deficiency in the country existed. We wanted to help, but we didn't expect such agitation, that so many people would want to contribute. And we came to the decision to make such events regular, and so we continue doing it. This is a really great energy charge, and we have as much fun as participants of the Donor Day do.
Марія Ульяновська, Катерина Мацюпа, Епізоди.
Nick Vucic in Ukraine. A motivational speaker came to Kyiv to inspire people. For a couple of hours, Vucic taught people at Olympic Stadium to enjoy every day. Before his speech, Vucic gave a press conference. Nick was born with a rare disorder characterized by the absence of limbs. Despite being bullied in his childhood and suicide attempts, he hasn't despaired. There was a moment which changed Nick's life.
But the greatest day of all, але найбільший день з усіх, was when I was 15 years old. Це коли мені було 15 років. And I really felt, і я відчув насправді, in my heart, в своєму серці, that I received Jesus in my heart, що я в своє серце прийняв Ісуса. It was the greatest day. Це був найбільший день. I hope God.
Nick leads a happy life. He plays football, tennis, and likes to swim. He is married and has 2 children. Nick has already spoken in more than 57 countries.
Это парень, який пример для всіх нас, тому що його сила духу, вона просто покоряє.
Про самого Ніка Вуйчича чула дуже давно, і якщо людина проробила такий великий шлях, щоб приїхати до нас, то це дуже було б погано з нашої сторони мати білет і не прийти сюди.
Дуже багато позитива, чесно. Це дійсно позитивна людина.
Действительно очень классный человек. Очень много про него видел в Ютубе. И очень доволен, что сегодня совершенно случайно на него попал.
Да.
Он разыгрывал пару билетов, и мы выиграли.
The second stage of decommunization is taking place in Ukraine. Epizode decided to figure out how fast and how productive the process is, including the renaming of streets and settlements, dismounting monuments and other objects of the Soviet legacy.
On this Saturday, it will be a year since the law on decommunization has been adopted. It has already cost Ukraine something between 5 and 17 billion hryvnias to clean the country of Soviet legacy. Despite this cost, decommunization only reached 3% of its capacity, as the data from the Institute of National Remembrance shows. It had all started with the fall of the key Lenin statue in December 2013. Since then, Lenin falls could be witnessed across a whole country. Now Ukrainians got rid of more than 1,000 monuments. The quickest to throw off the Lenins are people from Dnipropetrovsk, Poltava and Khmelnytsky regions. Not by Lenins alone, toponymical names also have to be decommunized. Recently, Kyiv Mayor Vitaly Klitschko signed to rename another 79 streets in the city. In total, approximately 110 streets are to be renamed. Instead of all Soviet personalities, street will bear the names of OUN-UPA figures, Kazakh commanders, Ukrainian historians, writers and church leaders. Obviously, the region with the largest number of Soviet town names is Donetsk Oblast, being as high as 106. Decommunizers also will not be bored with Kharkov region, which is a big opponent of the whole decommunization thing. 100 towns and villages still bear Soviet names. In contrast to this, Ivano-Frankivsk region has reacted the fastest regarding the decommunization law. That is how decommunization works in Ukraine.
We would like to remind you that public usage of prohibited symbols and performance of USSR anthems can get you a 5 to 10 year sentence with confiscation of property. Only it is not certain whose property should be confiscated for the Soviet symbols on historical plaques. The celebration of beauty, cinema and art, French Spring, is a festival that is taking place for the 13th time in Ukraine. The festival began on the 1st of April and will continue till the end of the month. At this moment, our reporters are in the Kyiv cinema. Hi, Uляna, what's going in the cinema and how is French Spring Festival going? Surprise guest today?
Hello, Les. Now we are staying in Cinema Theatre Kyiv. Today, hundreds of people came to the traditional festival of rare-released movies that is the part of the French Spring Festival. Demonstrations were organized in cooperation of the French Embassy and Art House Track. The exclusive movies are being held from 6th till 9th of April. At this moment, the film Perfect Family is about to start. We asked our guests what their expectations are.
I appreciate that Cinema Kyiv made it possible to watch different, new and classic movies. Everything what is shown here, it's always exciting. Such a festival atmosphere is the meaning of tomorrow. French language is my favorite one. Yesterday I watched pre-released movie and I really liked it. And maybe I will be able to watch one more movie tomorrow or after tomorrow.
They are not only movies offered as a part of French Spring Festival. The exhibition illustrates where the works of young French and Ukrainian illustrators are going to be presented will begin tomorrow. Also, visitors will be able to visit presentations of books, music concerts, and even get a masterclass of French cuisine. There are the last news from the Cinema Theatre. Les?
Thank you, Uляna and Tatiana. There was our journalist at the French Spring Festival. That's all for today. I am Les Yakimchuk. Be optimistic. See you next week.